Oh my, there we are, Hidden Nation. Welcome right back into the studio. It's Josh Cary right here, your hidden entrepreneur. You're tuned into 710 WOR, the voice of New York, right here on that iHeartRadio network. And all you got to do is download that free iHeartRadio app. And you can do a variety of things. You can listen to every episode, the entire back catalog of this very show, and any show you are currently listening to. And did I say music? All the music you can ever imagine in all your favorite genres. Happy New Year, we're ready to go. And boy, is our guest today ready to go as well. I had the pleasure of bantering with him for a while before we went on the air. It is Tim Stapp, who is the founder and creator of Diamond Shield for Windows. That's Diamond Shield for Windows, Hidden Nation. If you've ever thought that the topic of, let's say, home energy savings, heating and cooling, how to reduce your energy bill, how to gain privacy in your house without having to change your windows, this is the episode. And you're saying, but Josh, that's not interesting. Oh, yes, it is. Let's start it off immediately. First of all, Tim, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Josh. Happy New Year.
To you too. I really appreciate this because, like I said, on paper, let's be real. Is there anything exciting about heating and cooling and saving on it? But yes, there is, because you, Tim, bring it all to the table. First, give us an overview of this Diamond Shield for Windows. I consumed all of your content relating to this, and it's brilliant. You are brilliant, but I think you know that. Tell Hidden Nation what we're talking about here.
Most people, when they look at glass, let's face it, we look through glass. We really don't look at it. And when we get that utility bill every month, we just accept it. What are we going to do? Not pay it? It continually goes up. 10 years ago, when somebody told me what the utility prices would be today, I thought they were out of their mind. Well, you know what? Not only were they right, they were low. So out here in the Phoenix, Arizona market in the middle of July, and you got a 2,500 square foot home, you could be looking at a $700, $800, $900 a month utility bill. I know people in a lot of cold country. There's a lot of people that have pretty high utility bills. Well, most people don't think about it, but when you go outside in the middle of the heat and the cold, you wouldn't go out there with no clothes on. Well, some people do, but your glass is actually out there all the time exposed. And so my product is the only product that actually is applied to exterior glass. So my goal here is to allow people to understand I was in the replacement window business for 30 years. So if you had single pane windows, everybody would come in and show you this heat lamp test and everything else. Well, that all looks beautiful. And I like it that it worked for 2 minutes. But in the afternoon at 3 o'clock, that backside of that home gets pretty hot. Something called greenhouse effect happens, and that's energy passing through glass. And once that energy passes through glass, Josh, it's over. There's only one way of dealing with it. And that's that thermostat clicking on and clicking off. So my goal is to educate the people that if you can deal with the exterior glass and you can make 60% of that non-conductive, it's game changing. There's no way you can't save. So when people go onto my site and they listen to testimonials, these are customers saying, I put shutters on, I put film on the inside of my windows, I put sunscreens on. Nothing worked. But yet my product gets on and they say, I'm amazed. It happened immediately. That's the difference with Diamond Shield. If you had a hot room, I always tell you, what's the worst window in your whole house? That's the one I'm starting with. Because once that my product gets on that, you're going to know, bam, immediately you're going to know, wow, this is crazy. After it's done, You can go throughout your whole house and you're going to figure out you have an even temperature. You don't have those hot rooms and cold rooms anymore. Why? Because you have put a blanket over your exterior glass.
And what I love about Diamond Shield is that it's not just a piece of tint. You've
Exactly.
made it look like these incredibly premium looking shutters that give you the one-way privacy. Looking in, it looks like shutters are beautifully closed, but you can see 100% out. And it's this film over it that you've said since 2018, over 35,000 square feet of install, and you're just getting started because you, Tim, as you've put it, you are an entrepreneur through and through, right? You
Oh,
find problems to solve.
that's exactly what I do. I look for niches. There's a lot of companies that are going after the same thing. And unfortunately, when it comes down to it, I'm not going to say any one of these products are bad because I believe making your home more efficient, that's only something that's going to keep paying off. But if you have to put a $130,000 solar system on your house to create the power to zero out your bill, you're going to either pay a lot of money out of your bank account, or you're going to pay a lot of money in payments over a period of 30 years or 20 years to try to replay that. The average homeowner's in their house for 10 years. So realistically, when it really comes down to it, there's got to be a better way. And that's kind of how my mind works. My mind always works as, you know, what's the real reason? Hmm. Because it's cause and effect. I can go replace people's windows, which I did that for 30 years. That's what I did. Before I came up with this and before I did a test market on this and figured out it actually worked, and I did that on my own home, by the way, and it blew me away. So at that point, I thought, might be onto something. Well, little did I know, within about a 17-mile area right now, I would have well over 1,500 installations.
Wow.
If you look online, you won't find a bad review about Diamond Shield for Windows.
And while we were talking before air, you said a comment that I wrote down because I just loved it. You wrote, "How do you win? You got to look for things that make you lose." What do you mean by that?
My coach in football, people get penalties yesterday. There was some bowl games on. There was some bowl games over the last 2 weeks. If you really look at those bowl games and you look at the teams that created the most penalties, the most errors, chances of them losing was pretty high. And so realistically, my coach used to always tell us, the only way you win is by eliminating all of the things that make you lose. And so basically, I use that same concept in business. Because let's face it, I mean, whether you play it on the field or you play it in the street, the bottom line is, we play to win.
So let's really explore that for Hidden Nation
Mhm.
for a minute because it's fascinating, right? Whether we're in life or business or all of the above, how do you win? You got to look for things that make you lose. What does that really look like? How does somebody start?
Well, I kind of think when you turn around and you really exploit your strengths, but you have to shore up your weaknesses. I hear a lot of you know, one, for instance, if you hear Deion Sanders say, a lot of people say, wow, every time they see highlights of him, he was bringing back the ball, he intercepted it for a touchdown. Well, the thing is if you really talk to him, he practiced like he played. So when he played, it was like practice. So I kind of use that same thing. If, things that are hindering us from growing, things that are hindering the customer from having success. We got to look at those and we got to figure out, because here's the thing, if you help enough people save money and make their home more comfortable, more secure, more private, and it's a product that works, everything else takes care of itself. I don't do advertising. All of my business comes from a happy customer telling another happy customer. And if you get results, Josh, and I lower your utility bill by 25 to 30%, and your wife can open up the blinds in the morning, let the light come in because she doesn't have to worry about somebody looking in the house, it's kind of nice, right? Most people don't think about it. Most break-ins happen. What do? They look through the glass. They try to see. Most of these school shootings, when we turn around and we watch the videos, they talk about the gunman tapping on the glass, looking through the glass. So there's a lot more to this than just energy saving.
I'm just blown away because I see you're telling me your product could and should be on every public school window because
I'm
it's
just
privacy one way in that makes so much sense. Why should anybody have free reign to see, get an edge by seeing, okay, that's a full class. This is a good class with 8-year-olds. My Lord, are you pursuing this? Is that a
doing my first school now, Josh.
wow?
I've done motels. I have a motel actually out in Superior that I did during 2020 when the shutdown happened. Well, that motel services a lot of workers that work in the copper mines. So during that time, it was shut down. For the amount of occupancy, I think it was like 72% reduction during 2020. Well, in 2021, not only did everything skyrocket for them, the occupancy went up, but I did all their glass. Her utility bill for the year reduced by 27% as a motel. That's game changing. That's game changing, Josh. Okay, so when you look at return on investment, there is nothing like Diamond Shield whatsoever. I don't care what you look at. First of all, try to show me a product that get puts on exterior glass. Just show me one. You mentioned something called film. Let me explain what film is. Film's a product that you're going to put water on your glass and you're going to put this plastic stuff over it. And then you're going to take a squeegee and you're going to try to get all that damn glass, all that water out of the backside of that glass. My product's completely different, Josh. 60% of your glass is being covered with a blanket. You're actually looking out through 40% of that area, which are the little holes that my product is punched with. So my product will never bubble because there's no way for it to bubble. When we're applying it, we laminate the exterior of your glass. So if your glass was to shatter, let's just say you were in a natural disaster. Okay, there's a lot of people buying hurricane windows today. And they're paying about $4,000 a hole for a hurricane window. Well, a hurricane window is not going to stop it from breaking. It's going to stop it from shattering. Most people are hurt from glass breakage, okay, during natural disasters. Well, my product is a fraction of the expense when it comes to replacement windows, a fraction. That's why when I show people what it does, and then I show them what that new window that they're talking about doing does, first thing people say is, why would I replace my windows? You're allergic to money. That's really the only reason why you would do it. Because my product is going to give you so more advantages that replacement windows don't give you.
Talk to me about the business model, what it is now, and who you're looking for. Are you direct to consumer? Are you looking for dealers? Where are we going here?
You know, for my first 4 years, I just wanted to make sure the stuff worked, to be honest. Okay. I wanted to make sure I did not have trailing liabilities. And so before I started expanding, because I knew if I had problems, I wanted to make sure they were small. I didn't want problems that were going to be going all over the US. But retail was something that was going to give me what my product is doing. Okay. And what my product is doing is incredible. So at this point, my goal is to build distribution through wholesale. Why? Because I can help companies that are living in cold market, they're living in hot market. I don't care what they're living in, but if you can take care of the exterior glass, you're helping that customer tremendously. Hey, have you ever watched Geico commercials?
The best.
Check this out. Do you remember the Angry Bird commercial?
Of course.
So, those birds were going, they saw their reflection, bam! Those birds were either dead or those birds had cracked skulls called concussions, all kinds of stuff. Well, they might have flown away, but they're actually eaten by predators. Okay. So we lose a lot of birds by flying into glass. Well, that happens because of reflection. My product goes on glass. Wow. And I'm going to tell you what, it eliminates that. So I sent out to Geico because if you do any research, you're going to find out Geico got sued by that Angry Bird commercial. And that's why that Angry Bird commercial is not on anymore. It's because a bird activist was saying, that isn't funny. Okay. We lose millions of birds every year because of this. Okay. And so I sent their PR room. I said, you know what? I'll help you guys. You can change it all. We're going to call these the Happy Birds by Geico. And the bird is going to be going right at the glass, and it's going to see the shutters are closed. It's not going to see themselves. And you're going to actually figure out those birds that are hitting those windows every morning. It's going to stop. It's going to stop. Birds do that because they see themselves. They see another bird. That's why they fly into glass. Well, Diamond Shield for Windows just does so much, Josh. I mean, I could continue.
Yeah, of course. And again, we're talking about what we're seeing from the outside looking in is this complete closed shutter looking effect, but it's 100% transparent from the inside with nothing ever needed. That's absolutely amazing. So it's not even like a tint, like a tinted film. We've already debunked that. That's not what this is.
It's a blanket.
Yeah. I want to talk about you're a military guy. This is fascinating. You went in at 17 and a half years old, which I didn't even know was possible, but you told me your parents had to sign off on that.
Right.
Wonderful. Thank you for your service, by the way. Tell me the history here.
You know, I grew up, first of all, my father was in the military. My grandfather was in the military. I knew I was going to be in the military. My daughter went through boot camp as well at 17 and a half years old. Okay. So just so happens I started school early. I was one of those kids in 10th grade that all my friends were jingling their car keys, and I wasn't getting my car keys until we got out of school. Because that's when I was actually turning, 16. At that point, I don't know if you got to be 16 where you're at in order to drive, but when I grew up in Chico, California, had to be 16. And bottom line is this: really, when it comes down to it, I think I was pretty fortunate. Growing up in Northern California was just an awesome place to be. And when it comes down to it, I knew that the military was something that I had to do. And so at that point, I knew I didn't want to be on a boat, ship. I knew I didn't want to do that, but I'm going in the Navy. Most people think Navy, ship. Well, I was in the Seabees, the Naval Construction Battalion. And the Seabees have electricians, they have plumbers, they have builders. I was a builder. And so I learned how to do a whole lot of concrete starting at 13, building dairies with my uncle. And realistically, that just went on and on and on. And in the military, not only did we do that, but we did a lot more stuff. It wasn't residential construction. When I got out of the military, I got my general contractor's license out in Sacramento, California. And I started into the home remodeling business. And at that time is when dual pane windows were actually just starting to come out. And that's what I specialized in. And so I had been doing replacement windows for 30 years, along with kitchens and bathrooms and roofs and pretty much anything that dealing with residential construction, I was involved in. Today, I do diamond shield for windows. It's pretty much it. Told people, putting product on the exterior glass, we did 1.6 million this last year. That's nothing compared to what's going to happen in 2024. Because I'm going to have a minimum, by the time this year's over, I am going to help 50 companies that sell heating and air, and they sell solar, and they sell replacement windows, and they sell insulation, and they sell sunscreens, and they sell all these things along with everybody else. I'm going to teach them how to incorporate diamond shield for windows into their business. What they're going to notice at the end of the year is their lead equation. That means how many leads am I having to pay to get in? And then your equation is how many sales am I going to get off of all that time I spent seeing all those people? Diamond shield for windows? You're going to find out. You're going to go in on heating and air. As long as you show people what is the result of glass and a product that you're doing to help a lot of your customers, and you demonstrate my product, you're going to find out you might not sell heating and air, but I'm going to tell you what, 8 out of 10 of them are going to take care of their glass. Once you see the demonstration, I always laugh because Forrest Gump said something. Mama always said, stupid is as stupid does. That's true, okay? If we can truly keep our money inside the home and not go outside, which is our utility bill, every time that heating and air conditioning system clicks on and clicks off, I want you to think about your money flying out that window. Why are you allowing that? Why? Because you don't know. You don't know.
This is, Tim, what makes you so spectacular is you're showing people who have not even seen an opportunity in their business the way to go, the opportunity. A heating and air conditioning company or person wouldn't have even assumed that this could be added to their product line.
That's right. That's right. What's going to happen is this. The more people that get involved with me, they're going to figure out right away that they really didn't know everything. We educate ourselves, or we're going backwards because the world's changing. Utility bills are changing. You think the more people that do solar, now, I just see this. The more people that do solar, if I'm an investor putting my money into utilities, those investors are not getting the return that they would get. Why? There's less revenue coming into the utility company because people are generating their power on the roof or on a racking system. Well, the thing about it is you can generate all the power you want. That's not going to stop your heating and air conditioning system from clicking on and clicking off. Okay. What that power is going to do is give you power. My product is going, that's why I've done solar. Okay. The first thing I tell people before you pay a bunch of money on solar, let's take care of your glass. Let's see what happens with your kilowatt usage. Because I can oversize a solar system for your home. Why? Because you're still not taking care of the biggest problem called windows that are costing you a lot of money. So if we can go ahead and take care of that, Josh, guess what? We can reduce the, because I'm not against solar. Please understand, I think it's great. Okay. But investors don't think it's great. So the only way the utility company is going to keep me as an investor is by raising the rates. More people to do solar. It's going to keep going up. People are going to be paying more money for their damn energy than what they're paying for their house payment. You think it's not going to happen? It will. Because in 1989 in California, the average utility bill was $47. That same utility bill today, people are paying $600 to $700. So,
there you go. Tim Stapp, the life of any party, I'm sure. Amazing at dinner parties, I'm certain. Hidden Nation, DiamondShieldForWindows.com is the destination. DiamondShieldForWindows.com. Tim Stapp. I know we can go on for days and days in this conversation. I hope to do it again. Thank you so much.
Hey, I appreciate it, Josh. Thank you.
And there you go, Hidden Nation. I hope that I was accurate with my assessment at the top of the show, that this conversation on paper, who knew? Now it is intriguing. Again, I could talk about this all day because of Tim Stapp. Thank you for tuning in. Go check out DiamondShieldForWindows.com. You will be blown away. We're going to do this again before too long. I want to thank you for tuning in, investing your time, and making a difference out into the world and everything you do. We'll see you soon. For now, take care. Be well.
Nice job, Josh.